Hey dudes, this is Stephanie Hodge, Jenny from Unhappily Ever After, and you are listening to Tommy Throwback Kovac on Splat from the Past. What a fabulous fella he is.
Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things could get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming back my good friend, Park Overall. You all know her from the classic sitcom Empty Nest. I'm having her back on the show today to maybe talk and comment about this whole pandemic situation. She's been in politics for a while, and I'm not a political guy by any means, but I love talking to Park, and I want to hear her take on a lot of this. And I want to ask her about some TV shows she did after Empty Nest that got canceled pretty quickly. And it's going to be a great conversation because Park is just fucking awesome. So yeah, here is my new interview with Park Overall. Welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you, darling. I'm doing fine. I've been weary with the world, haven't you?
Yes. Oh my God.
Yes.
So, how
tiring?
Yeah. How are you holding up in this clusterfuck?
Well, I've been working very hard on my environmental work, and that's what keeps me distracted. And today, my secretary's here, and we've been going through looking for funny stuff to put up on Facebook, and there's just nothing funny anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody's run out of funny. It's just not funny anymore. The funniest thing I saw was a raccoon, and it said, "Hi, I just dropped by to steal something."
I see funny shit all the time on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything that made me laugh yet. So. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on where you go, I guess.
I was looking at political cartoons, and even they're not sending me.
Yeah.
My favorite one was the crying Statue of Liberty. I thought that was great, but I haven't seen one that good in a while.
Yeah.
He's a piece of work, ain't he?
Yeah, he
and
is.
if I shop around on Facebook and go to people's pages that like him, I don't. Are we in the same planet?
Yeah.
In the same world? What in the world are they thinking? How are they thinking? Is it? I can't put my finger on it. A lot of people say education, but there's a difference between education and right and wrong.
Right.
So all of us have an innate sensibility for right and wrong. Even the worst con man, if you're a psychopath, maybe not, but the rest of us, outside of sociopaths and psychopaths, have an innate sense of what is right and what is wrong in fair play. And anybody that could be for this administration, frankly, I think you've lost your mind.
Yeah.
Did you know that they quit. He didn't fire. The head of the criminal division of the Justice Department, the head of the civil division of the Justice Department, and the Solicitor General. Did you know they all quit?
No, I didn't know that.
They're not making it big news. I don't know why. But they did, all like real close together here recent. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So our Justice Department's falling apart.
Yeah. He has just turned the whole thing upside down, and, he got elected with this big promise that, he was going to make America great again. And that's why they voted for him in the first place, and it's just been nothing but a clusterfuck, like I said.
It's been really, really, really bad. And I tried watching what they would show me. They've gotten to where they won't cover him like they did his rally in Tulsa, and it's just pathetic. It's sad.
That had me rolling, though.
It did me too, but it was just sort of pitiful.
Yeah.
He's pitiful. He's pitiful and probably too old. Now, you could be 90 and still be able to do the job, but he's not able. Now, this is my opinion, and anyone out there that doesn't agree with me, understand that I'm a liberal, and that I was going to say this all along.
Yeah. I don't think he wants to be president. I think that, he just wanted to beat Hillary so badly, because she challenged him.
Well, I think he wanted to be president. What's shocking is that he was. He's much more incompetent, I think, than any of us ever dreamed. And he's much more dangerous than any of us ever dreamed. But here we are. And I'm really excited today about the election in Kentucky, particularly with them closing all of the polling places. I'm very anxious to see how many turn out, but they do, and I'm really, really anxious for that. And also they're going to determine whether they're going to make him give up, excuse me, darling, his taxes or not.
Yeah.
So that's going to be riveting. I'm really excited about that too.
Yeah, I just don't know what's going to happen. This whole nightmare, it's like part Great Depression, part 9/11, and part reboot of that old sci-fi show V. It's just...
I've never seen it. You're too hip for me. I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. The weird part is, and I'll say this, and I'll say it again and again. I've said it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised no one has taken him out of office yet, and by that I mean the military, the Senate. I don't mean an assassination. That's not what I mean. I mean that he hasn't legally been taken out of this job. I don't understand it.
I have so many theories as to why, and I think money plays a big deal of it. I think everyone has this mindset, like, if he's nice to me, maybe he'll give me, or if I'm nice to him, he'll give me some money, or just he's intimidating, to everyone.
Well, I've got a friend who says that everybody's afraid he'll tweet about him.
Oh, that is so fucking stupid to think that.
So, I don't know. I've just never seen anything like it, and it has rather gotten to me. I'll be honest. I'm tired. Yeah. I'm very, very tired of him, of what I see going on. And Gerald Nadler has subpoenaed Bill Barr, and I'm very anxious to see that because last night Nadler was on Rachel Maddow's show, which I do enjoy so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like he was the cat that swallowed the canary. I'm not charismatically invested in Gerald Nadler on his level, but I will say that I felt like he knew something we didn't. That's strongly what I felt, and that he was playing it close to the vest, too close. And that there's something going on, something.
Yeah.
He was too tight-lipped. So I'm hoping.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
What have you been doing, darling?
I've been constantly podcasting. I feel like I'm just making so much of an impact on people's lives during this time because I
hope so. Oh, yeah. That's so important. I think it's very important to try.
Yeah.
Try. Yes, I do.
Because I've distracted them, for a while, and they feel really good by the time we're done, you know.
Yes,
And
yes,
I just think that it's an important time to do it, you know. And
yes.
you know, I for 2 months before the pandemic started, I was on a diet. I lost 25 pounds, and I got
Congratulations, that's just remarkable. That's wonderful.
thanks, but I got a long way to go.
Don't you feel good, though?
Yeah, but you know, I just want to get the rest of the weight off, you know.
How much more have you got?
About another 100 or so.
Okay, you've done 25. That is a quarter of it. Now, listen, I'll tell you, let me give you a good diet tip.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has one, and the magazines all have one. I'm going to give you a really good one.
Okay.
Take yourself raw kale. You can put anything in it. I like black beans and corn, sweet onions, radishes if you want, an egg. And the thing about raw kale, it's very, very filling. So you don't get hungry. That's the trick. The trick is defeating hunger. And raw kale will fill you up like nobody's business. And don't eat too much of it, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of roughage, but just eat you a bowl full, and you'll find you can go for hours without eating again.
Yeah.
And it's healthy.
Huh.
So think on that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, because I do eat fish anyway, you know.
Yeah, and you put fish on it. You can put anything you want on it, but it will fill you up. And that means that as long as you keep your hands off the table, that's what it's about. So that will help you do it. Anyway, yeah. And I fight to keep my weight where it is all the time. After a certain age, it just happens, and you have to work on it. And it's best not to let it get up, because then it's so hard to get it down. But once you get it down, hold it in the road.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, how's your heart doing?
It is much better. I'm feeling pretty great. I have enough medication here to kill a horse. But I'm doing all right. And thank you for asking, darling. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, because I worry about it with myself, you know. I don't want to have another heart attack again. I actually went a couple weeks ago to get my heart scanned, or not scanned, but an ultrasound and stuff, and they said everything was good, and then I have to go all the way to Stanford to get it scanned. And
how exciting!
I'm waiting for that to happen. Yeah.
Yes, that's very exciting. I think to be going to a great place like that. That's great. Oh, that's great. It's so terrible to get old and have to get frail, but you know we must move into it and embrace it.
Yeah, they were supposed to.
I hate taking the time. That's the time to go to the doctor. Just really annoys me. It's such an inconvenience to me. But, you know, we just do it. We just do it. It's hard to believe that we're having to do it, but we are, and so we do.
Yeah, they were supposed to open my gym back up again here at the apartment, but now they want to extend the closing and everything, but they're going to be opening up our pool again, but now it's going to be 3 people at a time, which I think is ridiculous.
That's what they're doing?
Yeah, 3 people at a time.
That's very interesting to me. Really? How do you... Okay, well, at least, you know, get on the list, I guess. I don't know how they'll get everybody in there. They'll be backed up for weeks, won't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll have to get on a list to see who's next.
I don't even know if they're going to be doing a list. They're just gonna. I don't even know if they're going to have, like, you know, security there. You know, it's a weird situation. And plus, somebody just bought our complex too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Corporate bullshit.
Oh, you think you'll be all right?
Oh, yeah. We'll be fine.
All right. Good. Good. Because, you know, I don't trust people that buy complexes. So.
Oh, me neither.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that we would be in a mess like this?
Not in my life. And I've been around, and I mean, I'm older, and I'm what I fail to understand. And here, let me explain it to you. For instance, I'm watching Democracy Now,
Right.
and here comes a man running for legislature, state senate of the Bronx and Westchester County, New York.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason, those two are lumped together, Westchester and the South Bronx. And his name is Jamal Bowman. And Jamal Bowman is black, and he started as a school teacher in the Bronx, and then he was a principal for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
And Jamal Bowman is one of the most interesting, coherent, thoughtful men I've ever seen in a long time.
Right.
Well, he's running against that Elliot Engel of New York, and Hillary Clinton comes out to support Elliot Engel. Nancy Pelosi comes out to support Elliot Engel. All of the establishment comes out to support Elliot Engel at this time in Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And I did vote for Hillary. I would always vote for Hillary, but those people need to wake up and smell the new coffee. I can't believe that Pelosi and Clinton came out in favor of Elliot Engel when there is a man actually from the Bronx with connections. I sent him money. And I don't send much money to anybody. And I sent that man money because he's the face of change. He's the face of a thinking future for the poor. Elliot Engel is the face of the rich.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why those old, tired Democrats, as much as I love them, would come out and not support the face of change. But they didn't. They're going to stand by the old school. And this is not the time for that. Now, that's Park's opinion. And I would have always voted for Hillary, right? I would have always done that. But I'm really surprised at her at this point in history, at this time, that she would come out and support Elliot Engel. I'm stunned. I'm just stunned.
Yeah. Politics and majority rules the game. It's sad.
That's the world's changing right out from under those old folks, right out from under you and me. You know what? We better go with the flow and be the face of change, because history is not going to remember us well at all.
Yeah. It's weird. I know.
Who was that answered the phone? Your mama?
Oh, yes, it was.
I like her.
What did she say to you?
She just was lovely. I mean, really lovely. And has a voice like bells ringing.
Oh, I'll tell her you said
Sweet
that.
lady, yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Do you think that this whole experience is at least humbling to the world?
I have no idea. I've been thinking a lot about that. Funny you would say that to me. It's about the arrogance of mankind, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think
entitlement.
It's the arrogance of youth, and as you get older, that breaks down. But when I look at some of these players, I mean, their egos are, take a look at Trump, but the egos of a lot of people are really sort of ruining the world. We're all here together. It's not about who's better than the other person. It's not about being better than a black or a Mexican or an Arab. Who the hell do we think we are?
Yeah.
Who the hell do we think we are? to ruin the planet. We lost a big one on the Appalachian Trail. Did you see that in the Supreme Court? They're going to let that. I think it's called the Atlantic Pipeline go on the Appalachian Trail. I was devastated by that. Of course, the gays won a big one, and there was another big win in the Supreme Court, but they just laid that pipe right down on the Appalachian Trail in Virginia. I was devastated. Anyway, how did I get from arrogance to the Appalachian Trail? Anyway, the arrogance of mankind is killing us.
Yes, it is. Oh, my God. Everywhere you go, there's some kind of entitlement, especially with people deliberately not wearing masks.
I don't understand it. I don't want to die, do you?
No.
And that mask I've got me one, it suffocates the hell out of me. Whew, I can't stand it. It's horrible.
It is very horrible.
Wasn't that sad he didn't fill the arena?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wasn't that sad? That's sad. I think he's going to lose big. Unless they steal it, he's going to lose big. I think they know it, too.
What if he decides he's not going to run again?
Are you thinking that? I've got friends that think that. That's what they think.
I don't think that, but I'm saying, what if he does?
If he doesn't run, my friends think he's going to step down.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think he'll get elected again after this, though.
I don't either. Unless they steal the hell out of it, which they're doing today in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Closing 95% of the polling places. Have you ever? Have you ever? Now, I'm not up on the game in Kentucky, but I will say I sent money to Amy McGrath, too, to beat Mitch McConnell, and then suddenly that man comes in the final hour and is running against her and doing very well. I was really sort of shocked by that and shattered by that. I thought McGrath had a chance, and then he stepped in, so I'm very confused about Kentucky and what their game is. And with Mitch McConnell, I don't trust anybody in Kentucky.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it's just...
and that guy that Rand Paul was mowing his yard, and that guy jumped him. Do you remember that? His neighbor jumped him, knocked him off his lawnmower. They had been fighting over the property line for a long time.
Mm-mm.
Do you remember this?
No, I don't.
Anyway, I read that guy had a heart attack and died.
God.
Yeah, I know. I'm up on all the gossip, baby.
Speaking of gossip,
yeah.
What do you think about this? Oh my God, this insane cancel culture, this woke social justice bullshit going on.
I don't know. Do you mean like TikTok, or what do you mean?
Oh, people getting offended because of dirty jokes and canceling people because of something they said 30 years ago?
Well, I'm also very upset about the statues being taken down, and let me explain that to the people who, First of all, Ulysses S. Grant only had one slave, and he let that slave go.
Yeah.
You have to look at the whole man. You have to look at the whole man's life. You can't just... So they stood for the Confederacy. Well, let me ask you something. Were they supposed to jump ahead in history 200 years? They were supposed to be evolved beyond their place in time? Would that we all were? Then we would all know what was going on. Look, somebody made those statues, and whoever made them was an artist.
Mm-hmm.
To someone's mind, that's hard work and artistry. Take them somewhere. Some man in Kentucky, I'd love to meet him. When they were taking down Robert E. Lee, he wanted it. He wanted it to his little poor county in Virginia and said he would take Stalin and Lenin too if he could get them.
is not.
It's not. It's violent. It's and the people that are tearing those statues down don't even know the history. I guarantee it. And not that I do. I'm no history buff. But I'm saying to you, you can't just be going after everything like that and think it's just the symbols. You're destroying the symbols. What difference does that make? It's the institutions you have to change.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen all these stand-up comedians getting canceled because of things they said 30 years ago.
No, I didn't know this.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. This past weekend, there was a couple guys that ended up in on all over Twitter and stuff because of stuff that they said or did like years ago and stuff, and they're not the same guys anymore.
Well, I've never gotten over Al Franken having to step down. He didn't even touch that woman.
Yeah.
Kidding. And yet Donald Trump can be president, but Al Franken is forced to step down. What is that? We all make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of them, in a lifetime. So it's getting to be a bit much. It really is. But I will say, I want to be fair about it. When the president said Kung the flu,
yeah,
I did laugh. But that's not funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's not funny, but I did laugh. I admit it. I thought, oh, that's a good one. It's a terrible one. Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
So politically correctness is just getting a bit, it's very hard on the South because the South doesn't keep up anyway. So it's very easy to make those kind of mistakes here. You're in California, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are hip.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I live, in a very southern town in California called Redding, and over here.
Redding's not so hip.
No, it's very southern over here. And I don't.
Redding is not so hip. I've been to Redding.
I've been here.
I'm not being ugly about Redding. It's just a little bit redneck.
Yes, it is. I've been here 3 years, and I've been trying to get out ever since the first day I arrived. But
oh, I'm sorry. Well, you don't have far to go. If you go anywhere, you're still in the state.
There's
I was
nothing.
looking at houses, and I thought, well, let me check out Palo Alto. Good God, I had no idea it was that expensive. Seriously? I was like, what? I mean, just a regular house was millions. I was like, what?
Yep, I got great memories of hanging out in Palo Alto when I was living in San Mateo my whole life.
San Mateo, that sounds so great.
Yeah, I wish the town was the way it used to be, but it's not. It's not a town where everybody knows everybody now. It's a town where it's huge, full of computer people, and everyone's in each other's business when they do know each other. It's a horrible town now. Yeah,
well, those computer industries changed everything in the world. And I didn't even realize that Silicon Valley was near Palo Alto. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd look at real estate there, and boy, was I don't know when I've been that shocked. Good Lord, that place is expensive. I suspect it's more expensive than San Francisco. And they say if you make $100,000 a year in San Francisco, that's poverty wages.
Yeah, it's insane.
Crazy.
My mother
Crazy.
My mother and I, we lost everything in 2013, and we were couch hopping and living in our cars for 4 years, and we tried to get help, and they wouldn't help us because we weren't minorities and there was no children involved.
Interesting. Yes, it's very hard on the middle class. Yes, it is. If you make X amount of dollars, and I know people now they'll get like $20 worth of food stamps a month. What does that do? I mean, it's gotten he's just ruined everything. He's ruined everything, and I don't understand people. People here in the South, the idea about liberals, they hate us so much. They really do. Mm-hmm. They hate us. Well, the reasoning the only thing that I can figure, there's a couple of things, but one thing is that the conservatives feel that they shouldn't pay for the unemployed.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't support the drug addict. And they should not support a man that will not work. And there are plenty of people that will not work.
Or can't work.
They live on what the state gives them, but they think they've hit the gold mine. Well, they haven't, but okay. Well, it's something to do with work. Gives a life integrity. What they don't realize is there isn't the industrial work that there was. And the drug addict has children, so what, are we to starve the children? I don't get that, and therefore I'm hardcore liberal. And basically that's the bottom line right there.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you, yes. Oh my God. Yeah, guys who won't work and guys who can't work, I can't work a normal job again because of my leg and my heart and everything now, And if I lose my Social Security, I'm fucked.
Oh, well, I just don't see that. I think there would be an insurrection if they tried that. They're frightening me about it.
Yeah.
But notice those guys are gone. What was his name? The guy that looked like Eddie Munster? He's gone. Man, he's gone. A lot of those Republican House members, Trey Gowdy, they're gone.
Eddie Munster.
Isn't he?
You know what's funny? I used to say that John Kerry looked like Herman Munster.
Oh, yes, I suppose he sort of does.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't thought of it, but I do like John Kerry, sort of.
Yeah.
I admire what he did in Vietnam. That is a man who was forward-thinking. And you see some conservative old veteran is going off if they're listening to this because they think he was a traitor. I don't think he was a traitor. I think he saw the writing on the wall. There was no winning. And even if you had one, what did you win? I don't get it. We had no business over there.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Anyway. All right, darling. Well, I think I'll get out here and go do me something. Is that all right with you?
Well, I did want to ask you about some stuff really quick.
Go ahead, baby doll.
Oh, my God. Last time we were talking about, all your great movie and TV credits and stuff, I wanted to ask you about The Critic, because I loved that show.
That was an interesting experience for me. Did we not discuss that?
We didn't get to talk about that one, no.
No, okay. That was wild. I had never done voiceover work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very interested in what that was. And what that is boring as all hell. I've never been that bored. I can't remember being that bored. Because you do it over and over and over and over, and all you're doing is reading the lines, So I was quite bored with it. But I never met nicer people, and they're noted for their niceness. Voice-over people. I met the voice of Minnie Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did.
Oh, wow.
I met all these guys that were kingpins in the industry of voiceover, and those were the nicest people I ever met in my life. There's no comparison between them and actors. They were top-of-the-line human beings. So it turned out to be a great experience for me. I was bored, but I was in love with everyone I worked with. Just truly, I can't tell you how warm, how giving, how I saw one of them wander way to the back of the room behind something, and I followed him over there, and I said, "What are you doing back here?" And he said, "Farting, go away." This
This show was pre-Family Guy. It was so irreverent, so bold, and John Lovitz is just hilarious.
Well, it just was a wonderful experience. You know, John, I never thought John was funny. We did a play together in Seattle, and he couldn't stand that I didn't think he was funny. And he would say, "You don't think I'm funny, do you?" And I said, "No, I don't." And he was, "Why not?" I don't know why not. I just don't think I don't get it. I don't get jokes, and I don't get you. And he would follow me around, trying to make me laugh, and we just died at how funny he was. And everybody would just die laughing, and I never, ever got it. I just never got him. And we went all as a cast, and the director, the writer, John Shanley, we went to do a day in Seattle, and we walked into a music store where you could play all of the instruments in there. You could pick them up and play them, which I thought was so cool. Mm-hmm. You know that John Lovitz could play every instrument he picked up.
No, I didn't know that.
He could play even Mary Had a Little Lamb on the damn xylophone.
Oh my God.
Guitar, he could play the drum. Everything he picked up, he knew something on it. I was so intimidated. I was stunned. Mm-hmm. Now that's impressive to a girl like me from East Tennessee. That's impressive.
Yeah. Wow.
He was a great guy, and I really enjoyed that experience with him in Seattle and on the Critic.
Wow, he makes me laugh. I'll tell you. And one of my favorite stories I ever heard. It's so him, and it's a good way. It's a good coping mechanism when you lose somebody. Ed O'Neill, from Married with Children and Modern Family.
Yes.
He ran into John Lovitz a couple days after Phil Hartman was killed.
Oh dear.
And he told John, he said, "Hey, John, I'm so sorry. I heard about Phil." And John said, "What about him?"
He said what?
What about him? you know the way he talked. What about him? And he's like, he got killed. And John said, "Oh, that."
It's God. I don't get it.
I get it because it's so him, and that's his way of coping with it through humor,
I see. I never got him. I just admit he's a lovely man. Lovely.
Did you know that they did a Critic crossover on The Simpsons, and Matt Groening was pissed off about that?
No, and I didn't know that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah. What happened was James L. Brooks, I guess he figured because he was the showrunner on both shows, he felt entitled that he could that he didn't have to ask him permission to do a crossover,
sure.
to do a Critic crossover. And to this day, Groening will not talk about that episode. He didn't do the DVD commentary years ago. He was pissed about it.
No, I had no idea. See, I don't know that kind of story. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so interesting.
It's one of those.
I didn't know anything about that.
It's one of those unfortunate show business circumstances.
Yes, they happen. Yes, boy. No, I had no idea, and I didn't know there had been a crossover. But now I don't watch cartoons. It's just not something ever since Bugs Bunny and them, nothing's been worth anything to me.
Yeah. You had your own show that didn't last, Katie Joplin.
Right.
What went wrong with that show?
I don't know. I sure did like, what was his name, leading man in that,
Jay Thomas.
Oh, he was the greatest guy. What a funny, wonderful human being. He recently died, and not recently, but here lately died.
A couple years, yeah.
I was devastated because he just was what a lovely, fun man. I don't know what the story was. Frankly, I just don't think the writing was very good.
Yeah, I remember about 7 years before it, Dolly Parton made a movie called Straight Talk, where she's on the radio doing love doctoring stuff, and it just reminded me when you were doing it. It reminded me of her because
I would think that if they had let me, and I didn't even propose it, but if they had let me free form that, we'd have been a lot better off.
Yeah.
Just done that, we would have been better off. But also a lovely group of people, most memorable, Jay Thomas. And I just was devastated that he died. He was just a delight. He had this thing. He had a mother, he said, who just didn't house anger. She never was angry. She was always upbeat. She found the positive in everything. And that's the kind of person he was. He was a tremendous person. And funny. Oh, he'd get on a riff and just go like a stand-up, and the crew and I would just die. Oh, he was funny.
Yeah.
He was a little football star.
Oh, yeah.
You know that?
Oh, yeah.
He was at Piedmont or something, and I said, what? They said, honey, I'm a fire plug.
Fire plug. I never heard that one.
He was just a hoot. I adored him.
How about Ladies Man?
That was an interesting experience. It was very interesting because that writer had two shows at once. So that's one too many. Chris Thompson was his name. Mm-hmm. And he had two shows at one time, and I just, neither one of them worked out. And I never understood how anyone thought they could do that anyway, but he did. And I really liked him. He was a charming, charming man. But it was wonderful to see Betty White's professionalism.
Yeah.
She was extraordinarily informative to watch for me during that show. Dixie Carter, as I recall, had been on the show and left to go take an hour show. Mm-hmm. I think I'm not confusing it with another. So it was a stable full of women, is what it was, and it was fascinating to watch that. Now, if I'm not mixing my shows up here, but it was interesting for me to get to play something else. I enjoyed that. And I also enjoyed Alfred Molina very much. Always at tea time, 3:30, 4 o'clock, he'd get punchy. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed it. I just don't remember much from that one. I don't.
How about recurring on Reba?
I loved it. Really enjoyed that. Had a wonderful time doing that. The reason I did not return more is she wouldn't pay me. Oh. Otherwise, I would have been there more. And I'll tell that on her. I don't mind a bit. But we had chemistry.
Yeah.
I was a great foil for her. And I really enjoyed her and that show in as many as I did. We had a great time on that. That was great fun. I just wouldn't pay me. That's the reason I didn't stay.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah, too bad. Too bad, because we were cooking together.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So last time we didn't get to play my secret silly game.
All right, what's that?
So this is a series of slumber party questions, and how it works is I ask you the question, you answer it, and then you ask me the exact same question, and I answer it.
I'll try.
It's not win or lose. It's just for fun.
All right.
Park, are you ticklish?
Yes. Are you ticklish?
I am just baby ticklish, yes. What's your favorite part of the body?
Legs. What's your favorite part?
The belly button.
Am I supposed to say why?
You can ask.
Why?
It's like middle ground between being a private part and a non-private part. And you and I found out recently
What?
the reason why NBC did not want Barbara Eden to show her belly button on I Dream of Jeannie was because they thought of it as an enticement to what's above and below it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Funny how times change, isn't it?
I know, it's weird.
It's so weird.
But that's how they
That's weird.
that's how they thought of it back then.
That's so weird. Okay.
What color are your toenails painted?
I don't paint my toenails. What color are yours painted?
They're not painted right now, but last time they were purple with sparkles.
Okay.
What would you say is your best personality trait?
I have no fear. What is yours?
My sense of empathy and the fact that I have no filter.
Okay, very good. Yes, that's good.
And then my favorite question, is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
Oh, really? I was thinking about the horse poop on my property, but actually I sort of like the way my farm smells. What about you?
Either farts or feet.
Yes, well, there you have it.
Yeah, whenever I tell that to someone with kids, it doesn't affect them.
I don't have kids, so it certainly doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
All right, darling, are we done? I've got to go.
Yes. Oh, and I wanted to let you know Stephanie Hodge says hi.
How is Ms. Hodge?
Oh, she's doing great. I mean, she has her health problems here and there, but overall she's doing great.
No, I didn't know. I will always remember her at the age we were. So I didn't know, and all people like that, you tell them I said hello and asked about them. I know they have a daughter they were very proud of. She married one of our grips. Lance. She married one of the grips that I worked with. So I'm just really glad to hear about her, and I hope she's okay, and tell her so when you next speak.
Yes, I had dinner with her last fall, and it was so much fun. We were there for like 2.5 hours, just making each other laugh, me, her, and my friend. And also, too, Sherry Shattuck says hi. I've talked to her twice since the last time you and I talked.
I wonder if Sherry is as beautiful as she once was.
She is, and...
Is she still gorgeous?
She is still gorgeous.
That was my first film I ever did.
Yep. And she
was just stunningly beautiful
and
delightful, from Atlanta, as I recall.
Yes, and she is just a wonderful free spirit. I just adore her.
Yeah, I adored her too, and she was from Atlanta and wealthy. She was from a very wealthy family, and I saw her one day. I got so excited. It was years and years ago, but I turned on the TV, and it was an hour show, and it was some sort of show. I don't know what it was, but it was ice skating. She's an ice skater.
Yes.
She can, I mean, for real. You know, so that's impressive in itself. Yeah.
She's the
Tell her hello, and that I've thought about her for years and hope she's well.
I sure will. She's the polar opposite of a person with money. She is just a caring, compassionate person. And you're a caring, compassionate person too, Park, and I thank you for coming on again.
And it's so nice to talk to you and tell your mama hey.
I sure will. I'll tell her that her voice sounded like, what'd you say again?
Bells ringing.
Like bells ringing. Okay.
Yes. And you take care of yourself.
I will.
Okay. Bye, baby.
Bye, Park. Well, there you have it. Park overall. Ain't she a sweetheart? I love talking to Park. She's just a great lady. And she ran for president. I'd vote for her. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes!